This project provides an overview of menstrual activism in Brazil. To collect data, I interviewed 24 participants, including activists and advocates, policymakers, and specialists in the topic of menstruation, representative of 14 states of Brazil. I found that, although menstrual activism was already present in the country since the mid-2010s, it was in 2021 that the movement became more visible. In October, President Jair Bolsonaro vetoed the first federal policy to address menstrual needs, which received much media attention and became a catalyst for the movement. With the start of the new government in 2023, a new policy was proposed, and activists have since been focusing on pressuring the government into implementation. Indeed, one of the main roles of the menstrual movement in Brazil is to advocate for policy making and implementation. Participants reported that they seek local and state-level politicians to introduce bills to address menstrual needs and raise awareness about menstruation. At the national level, they have been in dialogue with the government to improve the current policy and pressure for its implementation. They have also pursued legal action against the government for lack of implementation of the policy in due time. In addition, menstrual activists take upon themselves to fulfill menstrual needs, mostly by distributing menstrual products. Many started their activism during the COVID-19 pandemic, when they realized that the most vulnerable population had no way to manage their periods during the crisis. Different from other activists whose sole focus is on product distribution, in Brazil there is also a real concern with providing menstrual education to their targeted population. Actions of product distribution are almost always combined with workshops or courses about menstruation from a social and health perspective. While I have identified organizations in different parts of the country, I notice they are in some dialogue with each other, but not fully integrated. There seems to be a prevalence in acting locally, with a few exceptions. One example is how some organizations came together to participate in hearings and meetings with the federal government to seek policy implementation. Another is a manifesto written and signed by a few organizations that proclaim their demands for menstrual dignity, which was circulated online. Menstrual activism is very prevalent online, especially in social media. Organizations and independent activists use the space to inform their audiences about menstrual education and collect donations and funds to carry out their actions. In conclusion, menstrual activism in Brazil is currently very active and engaging with different branches of the government to implement public policies that address the menstrual needs of the population. There is a potentiality of growth to the movement as the topic of menstruation becomes more discussed in the country and especially in the political sphere.